Welcome everybody to our show. This is Custom Fab Garage on our channel Octane TV on YouTube. Make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button, and on top of that, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can get all the new content that comes out weekly and even every day.
This is what we're going to be working on today, Nissan GTR. We're going to be taking out his factory head unit and doing a Trex head unit that he brought into us. This is a super clean GTR. Very nice. This is what his factory head unit looks like, just like every other GTR. I want to kind of show you before. He did have an AUDIOCONTROL installed in here. Kind of show you a little before and after. It'd be cool if it was real, but I've never seen one with the carbon fiber on it. It's usually they're black, so that's kind of cool. I mean, I like that it's glossy, that's nice, yeah. But it's just, I hate, there's no way to do this in real carbon with all this stuff anyway, so they're kind of limited on what they can do. This is everything that it comes with the screen. It's got some kind of pigtail here for USB. Looks like reverse camera, I'm guessing. A lot of this stuff is in Chinese or Japanese, I'm not sure. Got some plugs here. Looks like a navigation antenna, I believe. None of this stuff is labeled. There's 0 instructions. Here's another satellite antenna. Here's the main harness plug right here. And then there's another plug here. Looks like something for iPod or something, I don't know. And then a microphone, I'm guessing for Bluetooth. So this is all the parts that it comes with, including the screen, but this is no instructions, no way to hook this up, anything. So this should be pretty interesting. All right, here's the stock head unit here. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna start taking off these side pieces here. So we're gonna take these off, and then we're gonna move down to here to taking this piece off. It's got some little nicks, it looks like. Yeah, some little nicks right there. We're gonna take this piece off because you have to get this piece and these pieces off to be able to get back behind here. What you can do is you can get your plastic pry tool down in here. You can also push from behind back here, and then this piece will come right out. And then there's this piece right here. We're gonna set that over here since we don't have a seat. And then we're gonna do the same thing on this side as well. The easiest way I've found is if you take this back here and you kind of push out a little bit like that, and just kind of just a tiny little bit, it'll give you enough right here as a ledge right here to where you can just get inside of this, and then it will pull this whole piece out like this. So you're not like forcing, you do not want to force any of this out. You want it to just come out on its own, because if you force anything, you're going to tear up or mar the plastic or mar the leather. So you do not want to do that. You got to be delicate with these cars. They're super expensive, and there's the clips there and 2 clips on the bottom. You do not want to damage anything on this vehicle. I mean, just those 2 little pieces right here, when I went to buy them, extremely expensive. So you got to be very careful with every piece that you take off. Next piece, we're gonna pull this up here, pull the e-brake up. We're gonna start taking this piece off. Kind of comes off the same way. You can kind of get your plastic pry tool underneath here. Just find a good spot to be able to get underneath, and then you should be able to just click up like that. See right here, we're just literally poop, and it's just like popping up. You don't have to force it, just be real delicate and get this and pop it all the way up to the front. There's that whole piece out, and there's all the plastic pieces behind it. Not too terribly difficult, and there's what it looks like when you remove it. Next step, I believe we're going to take out these screws right here. We're going to start taking these out piece by piece so that we can get back behind here. We went ahead and took off 2 on each side. 2 on each side. I think what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to pull this piece back, and there'll be screws underneath here that we need to remove to get this out as well. So we're gonna start taking this piece off up here. Okay, what we did here was this was up into here, and we just went behind it and just kind of pulled out a little bit, boom, and that will come down. And then right there is like a cotter pin that holds this in. You'll want to pull this out, and then this will come up. And there's that pulled out right there. I'll put that in here so nothing happens to it. And then this will pull up. Just gotta be really careful. Don't want to damage anything. Kind of keep this all together. Okay, and then we're gonna set that down over here so nothing happens to it. And now this should be able to, this piece right here, you should be able to pull it up. You gotta pry up like this to get this piece up. So that's what holds these on, is these little clips right here that clip down into there. They are a butt to get off, just letting you guys know on that. If they're never been pulled up, they're probably gonna be a pain in the butt to get up. So this piece will come out. You've got a plug right here on the front, and I believe there's another plug on the front and back. So the start button right here, and there should be another plug right here. In order to get this out, just to let you guys know, you need to push in on that little tiny plug right there with probably a pick tool. Push it on that, and that brings this down to where this will come down now. Now you can access this plug now that you have this one unplugged, because you got to get to that one as well to get this piece off. We've got all this removed. What we did was we went over here and we just put some pressure and popped this up. You can do the same thing on this side, and kind of just be real careful. You do not want to mess, there you go, like just like that. You do not want to mess up this dash in any way, shape, or form. So we got this to pop out. Here's the back of this piece when you pull it out. 3 plugs, and then you're gonna have 3 plugs in the dash, 1, 2, and 3 right there. And now we're gonna work on to getting this piece out right here. In order to get this out, we just put this panel pry tool there, and it will pop out of these little snap pieces, and then boom, that piece will come out. And you got one big connector right there. To give you guys an update, these Nissan plugs are these tiny little connectors that have to push down. You pretty much got to take a pick tool and push them down as hard as you can to get them out. Nissan has the worst connectors, especially these type that take these small tiny little connectors like this. Terrible to try to get out. So just to let you guys know, you're probably gonna struggle to get these out pretty hard. I do it with every Nissan. So now we have every single thing removed from here. The only thing left that we've got to get is this screen out, and then we've got to get this CD player panel out to get the actual brain of the radio out. So we're probably going to go up here next, which is not easy because you got to kind of like pull this up and then push up and then get the 2 screws behind here out. And then I believe, yep, there's all these screws down here that have to be removed. So you got 1, 2, 3 that I can visibly see that we're going to take out right now. And then there's going to be, I believe, 2 underneath here. So we're going to try to pull this out, push it up enough just to get the screws out of the top, and then that way we get this out. I apologize. It should be those 2 screws right there on the top, not these 3 right here. I don't think. I think it's going to be those 2 on the top. I apologize. So what I did was I took my finger right here and kind of pushed up, and then I got this to go up. And then you're going to try to kind of like push it up enough to be able to get back there and get the screws out. So if you just keep kind of pushing on a little bit, you'll get it up enough to get to those 2 screws. And we just want to take those 2 screws out, and then we should be good. And we got this out. All you got to do is just keep pushing up on it and get it out. And then we're going to need to get it unplugged on the back side right here. And then we remove those clips so we can get this whole screen out. We got 1, 2 plugs there, which unplug from here. So you'll just basically unplug those 2 plugs. The pain in the butt is getting this piece off right here where my finger is, because it's got a little tie right there and you're trying to get this out, and you don't want to scratch any of this with the metal prongs. So that leaves you with that. So we got everything out except for this down here. We're gonna work on that next. From what I can see is a screw there. On this side is a screw there. On the very bottom, screw there. On the very bottom, screw there. So those 4 black screws are what we need to remove to get this out. So I've removed all 4 screws. We've got this piece out because we removed all the screws that we needed to remove. We're probably gonna have to unplug some stuff, it looks like, here on the top. We unplugged this from right there, and that plug right there, it was plugged in like that. And then we went ahead and unplugged this one here, and then this one was already just sitting unplugged. So, and then that takes this whole piece off here. kind of a pain in the butt with all these pieces, I will tell you. So it was plugged in right here. That one was plugged in right back there. So there's just a lot of connectors. I'm starting to realize there's just a ton of connectors coming. And then you can CD right there. Wish I could get it out, but kind of can't now. Now we need to remove this whole unit right here. So we're gonna need to take off all these screws that are holding it in and take this big unit out. Here's the unit when it's pulled out. And then here's the back side with all the plugs. Lots of plugs. Here is all the plugs that we pulled out. What I would recommend is taking a flathead screwdriver, like a small one like this, and getting into the plug and then pushing with the flathead screwdriver. That's the easiest way to get some of these out, is just take the flathead screwdriver, stick it into the plug, push down, and then pull back with the screwdriver. That is the easiest way I've found to get all these Nissan plugs out of here. And then here's all the plugs that we removed. There's a ton of them that you have to take out of here, just to let you know. So now we've removed everything and we're getting ready to install the new unit. See how that goes. Can't deal with the harnesses looking like this and just wires everywhere behind this dash, so I'm gonna Tessa tape everything up because I can't handle this. There's too many wires. This is just one harness. I'm not going to Tessa tape the whole thing, but it's a little bit better and easier to navigate through now because the harnesses are kind of into their own harnesses. So hopefully this will make it a little bit easier to keep control of what's going on behind the dash. So right now I'm going to show you what I've done. There's no instructions, no videos that tell you exactly what plugs to plug into, but I am plugged into this plug, which is plugged into the rear view camera. Now I will tell you that this is extremely confusing because all this is in Japanese or Chinese. I'm not even sure what it is. So very difficult to figure this all out. It's even more difficult to figure out which plugs go into which because it looks like some of them will fit and some of them won't. So this is what I have so far for the rear view camera, main, and then this secondary plug. I'm not even sure what this goes to. I've had to change this one out twice because this one will also fit into it, but I thought I needed this one, but I guess there's two different ones for what I don't get it. The main one is right here that comes in, and then this other one comes into this. Kind of loops out right here, goes into this, which is the CAN bus decoder, which plugs into this, plugs into here. This is obviously the antenna, which is pretty cool. That just plugs into the back, which you will see a antenna port. I think it's over right there, right back here. So there's the antenna. I haven't plugged it in yet because it's too hard with all the wires. But these are the plugs I have down here plugged in. There's this one plugged in. This is the main one, which is way down here. This one is the same as this one, so you got to be careful because these two are the same. So I've got this one plugged in and pray I have this one right because it might be this one. I don't know. They're the same exact plug and they both plug into it. So I went to this one only because that one actually comes out of where the harness is at. This one doesn't have where the harness is plugging in at. So I figured it's got to be this one. But I mean, there's so many plugs back here. I mean, there's probably 20 different plugs and I'm not even using some of them. So that's what's scary. What goes to what, and I don't know what's wrong or right. So the only thing I can do is plug it in, test it, see if it works. I've had to unplug this, plug it back in probably 40 times. I couldn't even figure out where this went. I mean, just a simple diagram. I mean, no matter if it's in Chinese or American or not, if you just show me pictures, buddy, I could do this a lot easier than trying to guesstimate where this stuff goes. I mean, some of the stuff like this, you know, because it's black, But it's like, how hard would it be to change these colors from all white and tell me which one goes to which, or put a number? Or I mean, numbers are pretty much universal through the earth. So I will tell you, this is not easy. So when I get this all figured out, I'll let you know the trials and tribulations I've jumped through, but not easy. It looks good when it turns on, I'll show you that. But these are all the secondary harnesses, like satellite, antennas, plugs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run them up in here and then pull them out through the bottom here in case he wants those. And then, because most people don't ever use them, but I do not want to have to pull this thing back out again, because not fun to get all this stuff out, especially all this stuff down here on the transmission. But yeah, this is not easy. If anybody tells you that this is easy and you have no car audio experience and you think you're a normal consumer and you're just going to do this, I would highly recommend taking this to a professional, because even us professionals, we don't work well without instructions or any type of visual aid. This has nothing, absolutely nothing. So you're guesstimating. And if you have no basic electronic skills, or you've never hooked up more than 20 radios, you're going to struggle with this, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to put stuff in the wrong places. You're going to force stuff. You're going to break stuff. I mean, you could damage stuff. I mean, I highly recommend taking this to a professional. So I did plug in the USB and the USB here, and then the antenna here, and then GPS and satellite radio, or GPS and Wi-Fi is here. I ran them underneath here just so I can figure out what I'm going to do. So I got to test them and make sure they work. Everything is, I literally got to test every single thing to make sure it works. Sorry about the extreme bright lights and my touchy fingers all over everything with grease, but there's 2 screws up in there that we got to put back in. And then down here, you're gonna have your 2 screws here. This is a nightmare to get back in. Just fair warning you, because you've got to line up the pins down here, get this in. 2 more screws over here. We went ahead and put this piece back on, snapped it on, got this piece back on, got the cotter pin back in. We're going to go ahead and start putting this piece on. We're going to put these side pieces in. I think what we're going to do with the microphone here is I'm going to mount it into here, because they've got so much stuff over here. I don't want it to be seen as much, so I'm going to probably put it here. Plus, it'll be out of the wind when the wind's coming in the car. We can put it right here, kind of out of sight, out of mind. Other than that, we're going to put this all back together. I'll tell you what I think of this unit so far and everything, but other than that, it's going pretty good. It's just labor intensive, time consuming. Main gripe I have so far with this install is no instructions and no videos that can tell you exactly what these harnesses and wires go to. Like, how are you going to design something, put it in Japanese or Chinese, at least make a video? I can at least visually watch what you plug it into. But man, no instructions, like, this is terrible. But other than that, I'm figuring everything out as much as possible. So the rear view camera is working, backup camera, sorry. All the HVAC is working. I've got the Bluetooth working, and I've got the Bluetooth talk through the microphone is working. So I'm just trying to make sure everything works, because I don't know what this thing's supposed to do and what it's not supposed to do. Now on this side, out here, I ran all the antennas in case if he wants the Wi-Fi and all that stuff to work, I'll hide it behind the panel, and then if he wants it to work, we can run that. But I didn't want it to be back here and then we can't get to it. So I don't want to take this dash apart ever again. What you got to do with this piece is kind of snap down, make sure these pins go in, pin go in, this part goes in, it all snaps down. So basically it pushes down. It fits great around here. I've seen some videos complaining about this. Looks amazing around here so far. So far so good. Everything's looking good, working good. Pray it just continues to keep going in this process. What we did was we hid the antenna here and the Wi-Fi antenna here, and then we have 2 USBs, which the USBs I think I'm gonna have come up into those cup holders, I believe. You kind of don't need them, but I'm gonna pull them up into there, but they're not very long, so I might have to put extensions in them. I'm gonna see what he wants to do. I don't like drilling holes, so I think that's what I'm gonna do is run these over to up here, and then I'll hide these antennas behind here until I figure out what he wants to do or what he needs to do, because This is like some stupid Wi-Fi extender, and this is some junky, yeah, GPS. This thing feels about like a play toy. I swear to God, it feels like something you get out of one of those little plastic bubbles you buy for $1. So I'm gonna hide those back there just in case, and then extend these to somewhere. I'd like to put them somewhere where he could plug his stuff in and it looks nice, but also does not have to have a bunch of holes drilled. So here's where we ran everything. We ran the microphone way down in here. That way it's kind of like you can talk and, you know, it's out of sight, out of mind. Like if I take the light off of this, you don't even really notice it's there. But at least he could be able to talk from here, and it'll be, you know, it'll be right there. It's not getting, you know, blocked by the wind over here. We put the USBs down here coming out of the side because they're not very long. This is all we have, so he could run extensions off of 1 or 2. Eventually what I'll do is I'll probably run them underneath here when he tells me where he would like them. We can put extensions and hide them, but I just put them right here just in case if he may not even use these because it's wireless. So I mean, it's wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so he may not even use those. So I can just take those out, tuck them underneath there, and put them back in there. But that's where we put everything right now. Unit looks good. Everything fits really nice. Yeah, I can't say enough about the quality of the way it looks, but we'll see how long the quality of it lasts. That'll be the biggest thing. All right, so here's what it looks like. It's kind of hard to see in this picture or video, but this is what it technically looks like. If it keeps brightening up, I'm sorry, it's just my camera trying to brighten up. See, there it goes. It actually looks like this. So the clarity of it and everything looks really good in real life. I don't know why my camera likes to just brighten up, so I'm gonna try to hold it to where it won't do that, but everything looks absolutely amazing. It's just gonna keep trying to do it. The fitment, every single thing looks really, really nice. I'm really happy with the way this thing fits around all the factory pieces, everything like that. It looks great. So I will give it an A or an A+ for fitment and quality. It looks awesome. So hopefully everything works great for him. The AC, everything's all working. You can control everything over here too, which is pretty cool. So you can control this and do the fan up and down, and go up and then go down, and then you can control the temperature control. So it'll, when you turn the knob, it'll turn the temperature up and down. That's pretty cool. So, and then you got hard buttons and all that. All right, I'm gonna try to go over everything with you without the screen looking blown out, but AC controls here. I have tried a lot of this stuff. So like you have an equalizer here, which is pretty cool, and everything goes back to the home, which is pretty cool. So equalizer's there, you go back to your home screen. Sorry, this keeps getting so blown out on this stupid camera. You get your radio. I mean, everything in this works really good. It's crazy. And what's crazy is if you go over here, your steering wheel controls, your factory steering wheel controls work just like they're supposed to. So, I mean, steering wheel controls are working, USBs are working, Bluetooth is working, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay is working, all the HVAC is working. I can say this is going pretty well with this particular unit. It does have YouTube, and then this is like the wireless Android Auto, but I'm on my phone, so it's probably not going to work because I'm doing a video. But everything's working really well.